If you're juggling multiple clients and struggling to keep your head above water, I need you to stop what you're doing and listen up. Here's what nobody tells you about scaling your business. Yes, adding more clients does mean more revenue, but it also means more chaos. More fires to put out, more questions to answer. And if you're not careful, it can mean more unhappy clients who feel ignored even when you're working around the clock. The secret to managing multiple clients isn't better time management or fancy software. It's actually something way simpler and way more powerful, and that is client communication. If we haven't met before, hi, my name's Sam. I'm an operations consultant and I've helped over 100 businesses systemize, and I've sold over 3,000 system templates online. So I know a thing or two about what it takes to manage more and more clients as you scale. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through my exact 3-part system for effortless client communication. This is the same system that's allowed me and my clients to scale with less stress, to keep clients happy, and to actually get back some of your time. Before I break down the 3-part system though, here's one core principle I want you to bear in mind. And that is that the majority of client problems come from bad communication, and the majority of client problems can be solved with good communication. Here's what I mean. Most of the time when a client is unhappy, frustrated, or thinking about leaving, it's not actually because of the work itself. It's because they feel unsure about what's going on. They don't know if you're working on their project. They don't know if you saw their last message. They don't know if things are on track or falling behind. They're left in the dark, and that uncertainty, that's what breeds anxiety, frustration, and ultimately causes clients to leave. In fact, I think good communication is so powerful that clients will often forgive less than perfect work if you communicate with them well. Think about the last time you worked with someone who kept you completely in the loop. Even if there were delays or hiccups, you probably felt okay about it because you knew what was happening. You felt like a priority and you trusted them. That's what great communication does. It builds trust. It eliminates uncertainty, and it transforms your client relations from transactional to truly collaborative. So the question becomes, how do you communicate well without it consuming all your time and energy? Well, that's exactly what my 3-part system helps to solve. So let me show you how. All right, so here's the first part of the system and the thing that often causes the most stress, and that is daily communication. This is where most people lose control. You've got ad hoc requests flying in, clients waiting on approvals, the occasional fire that needs putting out. And if you're not careful, these quick messages can completely fragment your day and destroy your productivity. But the sad reality is, clients need to feel heard on a daily basis. If they send you something urgent and don't hear back from you for hours, or worse, until the next day, that's when the panic starts to set in. That's when they start thinking you might be ignoring them, or that their project isn't a priority to you. So here's what to do. First of all daily communication should happen on Slack. And that's because Slack feels immediate. Clients aren't left wondering if you saw their email or if it's been buried in your inbox. They can see that you're active on the platform and they feel more connected to you. And here's the system that makes this actually work. First, set a clear expectation with every client and every team member that all Slack messages get answered within 2 hours. Not when we get around to it, within 2 hours. That's your new standard. Second, always make sure you're the last person to message in any chains, even if it's just a simple got it or understood. This is because it tells the client, I've seen this, it's handled, and you can stop worrying about it. Now, you might be thinking, how do I possibly answer messages every 2 hours without it completely destroying my focus? Well, here's how. On your team's Google Calendars, create designated answer clients blocks that are scheduled throughout the day. You can have one in the morning around 9 a.m. so the clients immediately feel seen when they start their day. One around 11 a.m. right after any of your 2-hour deep work blocks. One before lunch at 1 p.m. One after lunch around 3 p.m. and one at the end of the day at 5 p.m. This system does 2 things. First of all, it protects your deep work time so you can actually get things done. And it ensures that you never forget to check in with a client. So your team isn't constantly context switching. They know exactly when they're jumping into Slack, and the rest of the time they're fully focused on delivering great work. Now, daily communication is all about being reactive. answering questions, handling requests, responding in a timely manner. But if that's all you're doing, you're missing a critical piece. That's why you need to know how to handle weekly communication. And this is where you shift from being reactive to proactive. Daily communication is ad hoc by nature. It's whatever comes up that day. But weekly communication is operational and tactical. That's where you step back and review things with the client. And what most people don't realize is even if you're in contact with a client every single day on Slack, they can still feel out of the loop if you never review what's happened and explain what's going to happen next. Your clients shouldn't have to piece together your strategy by scrolling through scattered Slack messages. That's exhausting for them and it makes you look unorganized. So here's what you should do. Every single week, send a weekly status update via email. Why email and not Slack? Because email doesn't get lost in the noise. You can give it the exact same subject line every single time, something like weekly status update followed by the date, and that makes it traceable and easy to find. If a client wants to look back at what happened 3 weeks ago, they can pull it up instantly. And the status update should have 3 key sections. First, what happened this week? A summary of the work completed, progress made, any wins, and also any challenges. Second, what the plan is for next week, what they can expect, what you'll be focusing on, and any action items for them. And third, a top-line overview of performance, high-level metrics or results that show how things are tracking. Here's why this is so powerful. If all your client did was read this one status update each week, they'd be completely in the loop. They wouldn't need to dig through Slack. They wouldn't need to wonder what's going on. Everything they need to know is right there in one place. And the great thing is, because they know they can expect this same update every single week with the same format, the same day, the same time, it brings a level of certainty and assurance. There's no guessing for the client. There's no anxiety. They know they're going to get that each week. And just like with daily communication, you shouldn't leave this to chance. So on your Google Calendar, you can have a dedicated block in everyone's calendar at the end of every week, specifically for creating these status updates and sending them out before 5 p.m. on a Friday. That way, clients head into the weekend feeling fully informed, and you head into the weekend knowing everyone's on the same page. All right, so we've got daily communication, keeping clients happy. We've got our weekly communication, keeping them up to date. But the truth is, keeping a client up to date is good, but it's not enough. If all you're doing is reporting what happened and what's happening next, you're still just executing tasks. You're not thinking strategically. You're not stepping back to look at the bigger picture and asking, is this actually working? Do we need to pivot? And that's the difference between being a freelancer who gets commoditized and paid less and being a true strategic partner who can command premium rates. So here's what you need to do. Each month, take a step back to review the overall strategy of your client and their project. Now, I've seen some businesses try to do this on a weekly cadence, but that doesn't really give you enough time to see any results or spot meaningful trends. I've also seen others do it quarterly, but that tends to be too long. And 3 months in business really is an eternity. If something's not working, you can't afford to wait 90 days to change course. So monthly really is the sweet spot. It gives you enough data to make informed decisions, but it's frequent enough to pivot in real time. So each month you should put together a monthly report that you then walk through with the client on a call. Inside Agency HQ, we have a template that has the exact same sections for every single client. So this keeps it consistent and also makes it fast to produce. And the report includes 3 key sections. First, overall business performance. So how is the client tracking against their goals? And what's the bigger picture? Second, performance per service. So a breakdown of how each thing you're doing for the client is contributing to the overall success of their business. And third, and most importantly, the plan for next month. Both the goals you're aiming for and the specific tactics you'll use to get there. Now, this report should not be overly complicated or extensive. Instead, it should be clean and to the point, which makes it both quick for you to fill out, but also not overwhelming for the client to digest. But inside these reports, the true gold is in the commentary. It's not enough to have fancy graphs and show lots of numbers. You need to explain what they really mean for the client's business. For example, saying we spent $5,000 on ads this month is just a fact, but but saying we spent $5,000 on ads, we generated 47 leads at $160 per lead, which is 23% below our target cost, means we're scaling efficiently and should increase the budget next month. Well, that's strategic insight, and that's what they're paying you for. Now, here's how you can schedule this in your calendar. Spread out the monthly calls throughout the last week of each month. Don't try to cram these all into 1 or 2 days. That's a recipe for overwhelming your team and can lead to rushed, low quality conversations. By spreading them out, you give yourselves time to properly prep for each meeting, deliver a thoughtful presentation, and then follow up with detailed meeting notes afterwards. Now, client communication really is just one piece of the puzzle. If you want to build a business that truly scales, one that doesn't require you to work 60-hour weeks or be involved in every single decision, you need more than just great client communication. What you need are systems. And I break down the 4 key systems you need to build and how to build them in this video here. So if you want to learn how to build a business that doesn't depend entirely on you showing up every single day, click on the video or check the link down below in the description, and I'll see you over there.